Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to another recommendations video. And I just filmed another one before this and I'm feeling pretty sassy tonight and I'm pretty excited to do this one. When I was looking at my beautiful spreadsheet of all the recommendation videos I filmed, which by the way is over 150, you can check out that playlist somewhere around here. And while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll wait. Just kidding. I realized that I haven't made an assassin slash killer romance in a while. I know I've done like taboo romances, I've done psycho romances, and I did include some of the psychos in this one just because it's fun. But you know what's great? When someone is sent to kill someone and then they fall in love, or they are just in general a killer of a lot of people and then they fall in love and it just feels so good. So that's what we're going to go over today. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite assassin slash killers. I will also link the previous video that I did before, but let's go ahead and dive in. And we know we're going to start with some of J.T. Geissinger. These are some of my favorite assassin slash killer romances. We'll start with Ruthless Creatures because that's the first one in the series. This one is about Cage and Natalie. And Cage, he's sent to kill her. Her ex-fiance, who died 5 years ago on the day before her wedding or something, or he went missing. We don't know if he's dead. He's being legally declared dead. That's what's happening. He's been gone. And it turns out he was an accountant for the mob and he stole a lot of money. And Cage gets sent there to unalive Natalie to get to this guy. Because guess what? He's probably not dead. Or they're going to see her to see if he can find out some info. But you know what? Cage decides he wants to fuck her instead. And their relationship starts. I will say, and this is something I have come to realize, I did reread this book. I read this book twice in 2021 because it was a 6-star book for me the first time I read it. I feel like this series has improved so much from even the first book to the second book, but this one, it is a lot of insta-love in this one, and that's not going to work for everybody. I understand that, but this is an assassin. It's pretty hot. Nat's pretty feisty, and it does set off this series where you do want to read these books in order because things build upon themselves, and characters from each previous book are in the next one. So after Ruthless Creatures is actually my favorite book of 2021, which was Carnal Urges, but Declan isn't technically an assassin killer. I mean, he kills people, but we're skipping that one. And then we have Savage Hearts, and this one is about Malik and Riley. So in this one, Cage actually tells Malik that Declan, the hero from book 2, is the reason that his brother died, okay? He's the reason. And so Mal is going to kill Declan. Now, Cage, he set this up because he promised Nat, his beautiful fiance, that he wouldn't kill Declan, who is with her best friend. But he's like, if someone else kills Declan, then I technically didn't do anything about it. So he tells Mal about it. So Mal goes to kill Declan, and when he gets there, he sees Riley, who is Sloane, the heroine from book 2, her little sister. And Sloane has invited Riley to come and stay with her and Declan on his it's not private island, but at his big, beautiful mansion so that they can get to know each other and be, it's reconnecting the sisters and stuff. And Mal thinks that she's a prostitute because of the way she's dressed. And he's really not reading the cues and everything. And then when he finds out she's not a unwilling woman in the situation, she ends up kidnapped. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's great. Actually just reread that book because the audio just came out and I loved it. Then we got to put in a Kresley Cole, who is finally back with another book. Monroe just came out this week as of when I'm filming this, and I am so fucking excited for everyone to get to read it. But Sweet Ruin, we have Ruin the Bane Blood, excuse me, I say backwards, who is a assassin and secret getter for the Morier, who are this super powerful group of supernaturals, immortals, who are coming for the apocalypse. All these things in the background you need to know. You probably should have read a few of the other IAD before you get to this, but anyway, he is the sensual enforcer. That's what we say about him. Because he is a dark fae, which means all of his bodily fluids are poison to people. And what should happen when sweet Josie, who doesn't know a damn thing about what's going on, they run into each other on a couple occasions, and she thinks she's a vampire, kind of. She doesn't really know what she is. She died and then woke up again and had all these powers that she didn't understand. And one of them is that she can drink from people sometimes. And so he's trying to get information from her. They're both like really turning each other on, and she bites him. And he's expecting her to die. And she doesn't. And now he's very intrigued and also very turned on because he's never been able to like fully be with someone without worrying that he is going to kill them. So it's amazing. I love that book. It's a lot of people's favorite in IAD for a reason. Then, I said this in the last video and I'm saying it again, I can't do videos without Sophie Lark being in them. And really this one had to be in here because this one is different from a lot of the others, and our heroine is the assassin. I mean, Ivan is definitely a killer, so there's that. He is the Bratva mob boss in, I think he's in Moscow, and Sloane is an American who gets hired to do one last job, and that is to kill Ivan. And she uses poison, she uses like lethal injection, so she makes her way into his home, is standing over him, ready to plunge the needle down, and he wakes up, and he subdues her, and ties her in his basement, and maybe kind of sexually tortures her, but maybe she kind of likes it. Maybe she kind of likes it. This book, in so many ways, kicks off so many amazing things for Sophie Lark. In the previous video I just filmed, I said how you couldn't really read The Rebel unless you've read all of these. I mean, you can. I know. You can do what you want, but you'll be sad. You'll be sad if you haven't read the Underworld books, specifically at least Ivan and Snow, before you read those. I'm just saying. But you want to read this one. This book, Ivan, is amazing in so many ways. Ivan and Sloane are almost my favorite couple by Sophie Lark. It's very close. Okay, I love Ivan and Sloane so much. Ryland's my favorite, but Ivan's close. So, highly recommend. Yeah, I just love this. I love this story so much, and I love that Sloane is the assassin who falls for a mafia boss. It's just great. It's great. Then there is Psycho by Onley James. This one is a serial killer and a professor who is actually used to work for the FBI as like a psychic. Really, he is not a medium, what's it called? What is he? Clairvoyant, that's the word. I was like, there's a word for it. And so when he touches people, he can like see things about them. And so he used that with FBI to help catch killers. And when he touches a colleague and discovers that a fellow FBI agent is a murderer, he says something about it and his career gets ruined because nobody believes him, because they don't realize that he's not like psychic, like he actually has powers, he actually sees things. So he spends some time working through these issues. He reinvents himself and he becomes a professor. Well, then he runs into August Mulvaney, who is actually a serial killer. He kills bad people. He is from a family who kills people. And August becomes fascinated with Lucas, and Lucas is terrified because he knows that this guy is a killer too. And August is like, nobody would believe you. Like, I'm the son of one of the richest men in the world, and you are someone who's already been accused of being crazy. So let's just be friends. Let's be lovers instead of enemies. And Lucas is like, no. And August is like, yes. And it's delightful. Onley James writes the sweetest psychopaths I've ever read. Like, hands down, hers are the best. I love it. And I love all the squishy feelings. And then I really want to mention Electric Idol by Katee Robert, kind of swinging back to a bit lighter fare. These books, I mean, they are Dark Olympus, so they are still kind of dark, but I don't know if everyone knows that this one, Eros, is basically Aphrodite's assassin in this series. And he, after a kerfuffle where Psyche ends up looking like better than Aphrodite, Aphrodite sends Eros to kill her. Well, Psyche had been nice to Eros one time, and Eros doesn't want to kill her. And so he offers marriage instead, because he's like, if you marry me, then my mom can't make me kill you. And he says that, but mostly Eros becomes an absolute simp for Psyche, and it's delightful. I actually just read the arc for Wicked Beauty. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm sorry. And we get to see Eros continue to be a simp for Psyche, and it's beautiful. So I just want to say, this is good. The hype for these, in my opinion, is real and warranted. I know not everyone will agree with that. I understand. I disagree. I love these ones, and I've read a lot of Katee Robert, and these are some of the best. But this is technically an assassin romance, so there you go. Then there is All Things Burn by Jodie Slaughter. Throwing it back. I used to recommend this book all the time. This is an interracial romance too. This one's it's so good. This is about our heroine who she has this ex-boyfriend who's very powerful, very rich, and he's stalking her and starting to get more aggressive with it. He's threatened her family at this point, and she's kind of terrified. So she has a cousin who has had dealings with this hitman before, who will do odd jobs for the mafia or for whoever pays him, because he is a hitman. And so she gets put in contact with him, and he always forces his who's ever hiring him to meet him in person, so that there's he looks him in the eye and everything. And he meets her, and he's immediately drawn to her. He'd feel something. So he fibs a little to say that, oh, we need to do surveillance on him together. We need to be in the same place. And so he kind of fudges the rules so that he can spend more time with her. And yeah, I just really love this one. It's been quite a while since I read this. I kind of want to reread this book. But yeah, this one is one where he isn't sent to kill her, but actually she's hiring him to kill someone who has been stalking her. And I really, really enjoyed it. Then I want to mention Bike Marks by Jenika Snow. This one isn't an assassin so much. This is a psycho vampire killer, and I just wanted to put him in this one. So this is book 5 in the Lichen series by Jenika Snow. This one is about the first vampire in the series. The rest of them are all lichens, but this is their uncle who is a vampire, and he has just found his mate, and she is this fragile human named Kayla. And they end up running into each other, and he instantly knows she's his mate. They both have this kind of sexual awakening. She's never really been attracted to anyone before. She thought she was asexual. And he, as a vampire, they only get aroused for their mate. So personally, I think part of the reason he's such a psycho is the man's never had sex before. He just never has. And he is this evil, cruel, manipulative vampire. And now he has a human mate that he just wants to devour in every way possible. The dirty talk is real. It's a he won't fit situation. He's too big. Where it's big every time, which in reality would not be fun. Okay, in reality, I wouldn't want a peen this big in my life, but in my romance, I do. I want it gigantic. Okay? I love that trope. I don't care. Love this book. And then the last one I want to mention, which this is one where I am not the biggest fan of this book, but I know a lot of people love this series, so I still want to recommend it in case someone else will like it more than me. And so that's going to be the Ruthless People by J.J. McAvoy. So the way that I put this one as killers is because both the male and the female in this relationship are evil, in my opinion. Okay, they are irredeemable, horrible mafiosos, and I hate them. This is a marriage between the Italian mob and our heroine, who's basically been running the Italian mob for the last few years because her father has cancer and he's getting ready to check out. this kind of check out. So take that as your warning. There's death of a parent who is like choosing to die. But as a mafioso, he does not want to be seen as weak. So he wants to go out as strong as he can. But for the last few years, his daughter has been running things. They are brokering a truce between the Italians and the Irish. And so our hero, I think his name is Liam, there's this arranged marriage. He thinks he's gonna like just run roughshod over his wife and be leading the Italian and the Irish mob when he marries her. And our heroine is like, fuck no, I've been the boss for the last couple of years. I know more about running things than you do. You are not gonna walk all over me. And so this is truly like enemies butting heads, but now they're enemies who are having sex. And these are truly like, they hate each other. And the reason why this like didn't totally work for me is that I'm okay with my characters being evil. Have I not just shared a bunch of them who are bad? But I need something about them to like cling to that makes them redeemable in just one aspect. You know, for me, like in some of these, it's all about like how much their love is for the person, and then that kind of like piece of them is so beautiful that I don't care that they're like a murderer. And with these two, their love does grow, and you know, because it is a romance, like it goes there. But kind of the issue that I had is that they're evil to everyone else, like everyone. And there are some pretty shocking like murders that they make happen. So that's why I put them under killer and assassin, because they are the bosses of the the Italians and the Irish, and they are brutal. So I just want to put them out there. And again, I know a lot of people love this series. It didn't really work for me, but it might work for you. So there you go. Those are some recommendations for assassin/killers that I have to share. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the like button, hit the bell to be notified next time, and I'll see you around.